Hello everyone, welcome you all to today's class. Today's topic is vectors and 3D geometry and we are here to start the topic, right? So it means we will be studying the part 1 of vector and 3D unit. And this is one of the very interesting topic in 12th standard CBSE syllabus. And as you know, the weightage of this topic is quite, you can say, good. Okay, so that you might be knowing for 2021. And we have, the topic, you can say, 14 marks weightage of this topic. Earlier it was 17 marks. So now let's see, and to start with, we will be studying today vector basics. Okay, so basic concepts on vector chapter and the concept, good concept of vector will really help you to study 3D geometry very, profound way and very, you can say, easy manner. So let's study the vector basics today and let's enjoy the class. So I'll just closing the vector, for video panel so that we can get the whole screen. Okay, so now to start with, yeah, so vector and 3D geometry part 1, and we are going to study vector basic concepts, and you can say it is beginner's class. Okay, and well, beginners have done, right? So in beginner's class, we will. Okay, so then, yeah, vector, the name you might have heard, many of you might have heard this vector, specifically those who have studied physics, they know what is vector, right? So they have studied like this as for physics. So vector is a physical quantity having both magnitude and direction. Okay, so most of you might be knowing that, right? And here, how to define a vector quantity, yeah, how to define a vector. I mean, what is a vector? So, vector is your directed line segment. Okay, we define it in a very easy way. Okay, not making the things complicated. So, whenever I say it is your directed line segment, so two parts of this. One is line segment, then directed line segment. So line segment you understand. So this is a line segment. It means both ends are fixed. Okay, one end is A, the other end is B. So this is line segment. Now comes directed line segment. So it means the line segment with specific direction. Let me take the direction as towards B. So it means from A towards B. So the arrow mark is pointing towards B. Okay. So it is AB vector. Directed line segment AB. Similarly, if I take another line segment, maybe this is CD. Okay. Now direction I am putting to this side. Okay. So this is your BC vector. Right. So the direction of the arrow is basically gives us direction of the vector. Then how to represent a vector? Representation of a vector. So as I said, line segment, then directed line segment. So this is the starting point, this is the ending point. So it means whenever we have AB vector, I mean the directed line segment AB, direction is towards B. Okay, so this arrow signifies direction of the vector. So it means we write it as AB and we give arrow mark like this. So it is AB vector. Similarly, in the other case, so D to C, towards C. So here this one is your BC vector. Okay, now as we know, the line segment having two ends fixed. But in case of line segment, whether you take AB or BA, so not an issue. Yes, CD, DC, no problem. But here you have to be very careful, right? So AB means from A to B. DC means from D to C. Okay, we can't say AB equal to BA. Now let me tell you, yeah, whenever you write AB vector, this is the starting point. We call it initial point, and B is the ending point. This is called terminal point. Terminal point of the vector. Similarly, if we have BC vector, D is initial point and C is terminal point. So starting point of the vector is initial point, ending point of the vector is terminal point, and we write like this. So without arrow mark, we do not represent the vector like this without arrow mark. Whenever we say a vector, it is a, the overhead arrow mark should be there. Okay, and the direction of the arrow is the direction of the vector. Is it clear? Okay, now, so since we know what is a vector and how to represent this, now types of vectors. So in types of vectors, first one is like you can say zero vector. So zero vector means, see, so whenever we say, another thing I want to tell you, whenever we say AB vector, so directed line segment AB. So only line segment means it has length. So here directed line segment, one thing is because it is a line segment, it has length, and because it has direction, so here directed. So it means the vector having both magnitude and direction. Okay, we have both magnitude and direction for AB vector. Okay, so it means magnitude means what? That is the length of the line segment. Okay, it means we write like this, AB magnitude. This is basically length of the line segment. Okay, length of the line segment is magnitude of the vector. Direction is basically from initial point to terminal point. Okay, every time you'll find direction of the vector will be from initial point to terminal point. Okay, now whenever we say zero vector, that means vector with magnitude 0. Okay, vector with magnitude 0. So how can it be possible? So it means whenever we say A is initial point, B terminal point, whenever you say zero vector, that means your A approaches to B. That means you may write here A. Okay, it means when A coincides with B. Yeah, B. That means initial point and terminal point coincide. So magnitude of the zero vector is 0. And what about direction? It can have any direction. Yeah, there is no fixed direction for zero vector. Now next, unit vector. So unit vector is, so to define unit vector, you can say, so as the name suggests, the vector with one unit magnitude. Vector having magnitude 1 unit. Okay, unit vector means this is having magnitude unity, magnitude 1 unit. Okay, so we denote it by, suppose, what about direction? So it means unit vector along the direction of A is denoted by A cap. Okay, this is unit vector along A vector. So now unit vector along A vector is denoted by A cap. Similarly, we can have x-axis and y-axis and z-axis. So I cap unit vector along x-axis, j cap unit vector along y-axis, k cap unit vector along z-axis. Okay, so the cap signifies unit vector. Okay, so we write a vector like this, a overhead arrow, but a cap is like this. So unit vector along a vector is, it is basically a vector divided by magnitude of a vector. Okay, now co-initial vector. Co-initial vector means vectors having same initial point. Like for example, you have suppose A, D, suppose AB, AC, AD. So these are the vectors with same starting point, same initial point. So these are AB, AC, AD are co-initial vectors. Equal vectors. So equal vectors means vectors having same magnitude and direction. I mean same direction and magnitude also same. So here a little bit summarization is here. You can just see. So in the meantime I can write it here. So whenever you write A vector equal to B vector. So this means, it means magnitude of A equal to magnitude of B and direction of A vector equal to direction of B vector. So vectors with same magnitude and direction, here it is written also. A vector and B vector are equal vectors if and only if magnitude of A equal to magnitude of B and they are in the same direction also. Okay, so here you can just see. Yeah, so for direction, how to know? It means you can say A cap equal to B cap. So unit vector in the direction of A equal to unit vector in the direction of B. Okay, so that is also like you can say either you represent like this or you can represent like A cap equal to B cap just to see the direction. Next, collinear vectors. Collinear vectors and parallel vectors. So before that I want to just tell you one more thing. One concept is free vectors which we are studying actually. So free vectors means, so this is basically shifting a parallel displacement of, you can say parallel displacement of a vector without changing its magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction. So it means what? Suppose for example you are having the vector A here. Okay, the same vector I can just shift this vector from, I mean to anywhere basically, as long as I am just not changing the magnitude. So length of this vector A equal to length of this, okay, and direction is also same. Only thing position is different. So it means I am displacing this vector parallelly. So parallel displacement of a vector without changing its magnitude and direction. It means the main characteristic of free vectors means without changing the magnitude and direction of the vector, we can shift the vector from one place to another. Okay, and in our syllabus we are studying free vectors. Okay, so it means we can make parallel displacement of any vector. So whenever you take collinear vector or parallel vector, what happens? So in collinear vectors, as you know, collinear points means lines lying in the, collinear points means points lying on the same line. Suppose I take A vector is this. Okay, now I can write here, suppose this one B vector. It may be like this. Okay, now if I take this B vector, so we are studying three vectors. So if I write here, suppose A vector is here, this B vector, I am shifting this vector from this place to this place. So can they be called collinear vectors? So along with collinear vectors, we are also studying parallel vectors. So studying these three vectors, so collinear and parallel, they are in fact having same condition. So the way we define this, whether it is collinear or parallel, so we can say a vector is, two vectors are collinear and as well as parallel if a vector parallel to b vector, if and only if a is scalar multiple of b. Okay, scalar multiple of b means what? Suppose for example lambda equal to 2. Now this is your a vector. So I am taking the same direction and I am taking this one, suppose b vector, and I know b vector equal to twice of a vector. So if this scalar, the number which is multiplied by this, so it means a vector length of a is lambda times length of b. Length of a is 2 times b. Okay, length of a is 3 times b. So it means lambda positive means a and b having same direction. But if it is a equal to minus 2 of b, so it means length of a is 2 times length of b. And because it is minus b, it means a and b, they are of opposite direction. Okay, so here also comes negative vectors. So AB vector and BA vector. So as we know, line segment, length of the line segment AB equal to length of the line segment BA. But direction of AB and direction of BA, they are of opposite. Right? So whenever we talk about negative vectors, it means vectors having same magnitude but opposite direction. So AB vector is negative of BA vector. Yeah, BA vector is negative of AB vector. Okay, so for parallel and collinear, we define like this. So one vector, yeah, A vector is parallel to B vector if A is scalar multiple of B, like this. So A equal to lambda times B, A equal to 2 times B, A equal to minus 2 times B. Okay. Similarly, for collinear also we get similar condition. It's because we are studying three vectors. Like here A, B, they are collinear. Okay. Now this B I am shifting to this place. Now A and B, they are becoming parallel. Right? So it means for collinear and parallel we use same condition here. So one is scalar multiple of the other, right? That is collinear and parallel also. Okay, coplanar vector means the vectors parallel to or lying on the same plane. Okay, these are some of the types of vectors. So zero vector, unit vector, equal vectors, collinear vectors, coplanar vectors. So these are the some of the types of vectors. So you will be studying repeatedly. And also vector is here we have defined it as, it is a directed line segment. So line segment means having the magnitude, right? Because for line segment we have starting point and ending point fixed. Means we have initial point and terminal point. So it means it has magnitude. And directed means from which point, towards which direction. So that means the line segment having direction, that is a vector. So quantity having both magnitude and direction. In physics we study in this way. Any physical quantity or any quantity having both magnitude and direction. Okay. For example, velocity, for example, displacement. So these are some of the simplest simplest examples you already have studied in 9th standard also, and those who are studying physics currently, they are also familiar with these things. Okay. Now what is vectorial movement? So this is a very, very new thing for you. Whenever you say vectorial movement, so vector, it is having direction and magnitude. And what is vectorial movement? What is this then? So if I say, yeah, so you know the movement in a particular direction basically, because vector involves both magnitude and direction. So let me tell you, yeah, in you study the direction like this. In map, you study this is north, south, east, and west. Okay, so if you are moving towards this, so this is the, you can say the origin. I mean, this is the starting point from where you want to start. So if you are moving like this, going towards east, yeah, north, yeah, south, that is very, very clear to you. But those who are in, I mean, you can say defense, I mean, involved in army, navy, something, you might have seen the Republic Day parade also. So in all these things, so every time, no, you don't move like straight, you move to this side, north, south, like straight, you do not move east, yeah, north, do not you, always you don't move like this. So in this case, what happens, if you are in the army or in navy, when you, yeah, you must, I mean, so then you really can understand what is the vectorial movement. Okay, in case you are not, you might have seen in, I mean, in various TV programs, yeah, movies, yeah, even live parade during Republic Day and other occasions. So here you see, yeah, but now I'm talking about, I mean, other than south, north, east, west. Other than that, I'm going to talk about something else. Suppose, for example, you have to move 30-degree, moving 30-degree west of south, west of south. 2, 3 examples I will take. Yeah, 60-degree east of south, or 45-degree east of north. Okay. So now you see, suppose moving, make, I can say here, 5 kilometer, 30-degree west of south. Okay. So it means what you have to do. So let's start with this. I'm talking about west of south. Okay. Now I am going like this. This is east. This is west. This is north. This is south. So we start from here. So whenever you see west of south, so west of south means you move towards south, then you move 30-degree towards west. So it means this is the, yeah, this is the position you can have. So P is the position moving what? West of south. West of south. Okay. Now east of south is what? East of south is, so if you say east of south, so again you go towards south. Okay, so move from this point, starting point, you gone towards south, then east of south. Okay, from this south you move 60-degree. Okay, 60-degree towards east, right? Now this. How much you have to go? Suppose this is the point. So it means your movement is like this. If you are covering 40 kilometers, so suppose you are traveling 40 kilometers at 60-degree east of south. Okay, then you are heading towards south, then make 60-degree here, then you are arriving at this point. Okay, so this is your east of south. So like this, I think it is very, very clear. East of north. So east of north means you start from this point, head towards, I mean heading towards north, then 45 degree. So again you can cover 45 degree east of north, sorry, east. This is your, final destination. Okay, so you go like this. Okay, then you turn 45 degree towards east. So this is your, suppose this point is M. So M is the displacement basically. You are here, it is 45 degree, 45 degree east of north. So from these three examples, what you can conclude, east of north means, that means first of north. So you first turn towards north. Then whenever you have to turn the certain angle, 45 degree in this case, so from north you head towards 45 degree in east direction. Okay, this is a trick. Okay, so I think vectorial movement is done. Okay, so now you are familiar with certain terms in the vector. Okay, so that is basically vectorial movement, and if it is 5 kilometer 30 degree, 5 kilometer at 30 degree west of north, so you are covering first, you are heading towards south, west of south, suppose. So south, towards south you are coming, then 30 degree towards west. Okay, now this is the, so now 5 kilometer means displacement, the magnitude of this thing is magnitude of initial and terminal point, the distance between that is 5 kilometer. Okay, so this one is 5 kilometer. If I write here O, yeah, A, so now P, so this is your 5 kilometer. Okay, and direction you must give. Okay, now this is one of the very new thing. Now addition of vectors. So this is again interesting. Again, the physics students already have studied. Whenever we talk about sum of the vectors, the other name is resultant vector. Resultant vector. So addition of vectors means you will be getting sum of the vectors. That is also called resultant vectors. Okay, resultant vector, yeah, let me strike it off. Resultant vector. Okay, so sum of the vectors, resultant vectors. Okay, so here you can see, so when you have to add the vectors, so obviously you will have more than one vector, right? So addition of vectors, we follow two rules. We will not go to, the lots of stuff in physics. We are not going to do that. Yeah. So now addition of vectors, we have two rules. Specifically, this rule, first one is very important. Second one is a bit extension of the first one, what I understood. So triangle of vector addition. So I will be telling you in a very short way. Suppose you have a triangle, right? ABC. Now you have vector AB. Suppose it is A vector. Now vector BC, let it be B vector. Now if I want to add A and B, I want to get the resultant vector of A and B. So here I have to see this vector, here this is initial point. The first vector is A, terminal point of first vector coincides with initial point of the second vector. So the vector joining initial point of first to terminal point of second gives us resultant vector. Okay, so this one, this is your A plus B, direction will be from A to C. So what we take very easily here, AB plus BC, this is equal to AC. So the triangle of vector addition states that if two vectors represent two adjacent sides of a triangle such that terminal point of the first vector coincides with initial point of the second vector. Then the vector joining initial point of the first to terminal point of the second represents sum of the vectors. Okay, so this is easier way to remember. AB plus BC equal to AC. If you have CD vector plus DP vector, that can be written as CP vector. Okay, so if CDP are vertices of a triangle, okay, then only you can say CD vector is. So it means here we have to see CD vector means it may be C, it may be D, CD vector, P vector, okay. Okay, this is B, this is A vector. Now this vector is CP vector is so A plus B. Okay, it means whenever you have AB plus BC plus AC, sorry, equal to AC. So that's why if you write here, no, AB plus BC plus CA, you will be getting zero vector. Means AB plus BC, then CA. So from A to A vector, that will be zero vector. So please just see this thing. Okay. Now parallelogram law of vector addition, what it states? Suppose you have the parallelogram like this. So as I said, a bit extension of triangle law. I am just taking like this. Yeah, so two adjacent sides, it may be like no AB, CD. So let us take any two adjacent sides. Suppose this is A vector, this one is B vector. Okay, the AC diagonal AB plus BC equal to AC. So diagonal AC will be representing A vector plus B vector. Now what about the other diagonal? Now if I write this is AB, now if I take this one, so as you know parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal. But whenever it comes to vector symbol, so it is AB, then it should be DC. Now if I am writing here CD vector, this is minus B. Okay. Now if I write here this one AD. Yeah, so now is BC equal to AD. If I take them as vector, so now it should be BC and AD. This will be V vector. Okay, this is minus A. Now if I write here, yeah, let me join this diagonal. Okay, let me join this one. Now BD. So BD vector should be what? BC plus CD. BD vector equal to BC vector plus CD vector. Now BC vector is B vector and CD vector is minus A. So basically we are using parallelogram in parallelogram law of vector addition. What we are using? We are just using extension of triangle law of vector addition. Okay, so one diagonal represents sum of the vectors and the other diagonal represents difference of vectors. And if you want to take DB, that will be DB vector. If you want to take vector DB, obviously that will be A minus B. Okay, the way you take the direction, so you can just get accordingly. So I hope it is clear. So basically, whether you remember parallelogram law of vector addition or not, so but very important is remembering triangle law of vector addition. And if you are very clear in triangle law, so I think parallelogram law of vector addition automatically you will understand. Okay, so one diagonal means it is side of one of the triangles, and the other diagonal means again it is side of the another triangle. So you have adjacent sides of two triangles. So the third side can be obtained by using triangle law of vector addition. Okay, so these are the some of the basics today we have to study. And as I said in the beginning, in various parts we will be covering this topic. and please stay on and keep on watching the whole chapter so that you really can be benefited from board exam point of view. Okay, and one more thing, yeah, I just before winding up the class, no, position vector. Though I am planning to study this one in very elaborative way. Position vector means what? Position vector is basically vector joining. So this is vector joining origin to the point. To the point. So position vector means position vector of a point. So position vector of A, for example. Vector joining origin to the point A. So it means position vector of A is OA vector. Position vector of B is OB vector. Position vector of C is OC vector. So for position vectors, origin will be the initial point, right? So we will be studying this in a very descriptive way, right? So we have studied addition of the vectors. Specifically, we have to see triangle loss vector addition, which is very important for other concepts. Okay, so thank you so much. We have to wind up the class today. So today, as I said, we have to study only basics. So now we just covered the basics. Okay, so next class we will be covering the next portion.